Welcome to the channel, where all you gotta do is clean up this old vise. So I picked up this thing on Facebook Marketplace for $125, I think. And it looks a little bit, you know, used. So I thought I'd, you know, clean it up before utilizing it. I got the CNC mill working. Not ready to make parts yet, but I'm gonna need a vise. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to steal it off the manual mill, and it's not great. So figured I'd take this thing apart, clean it up, get it solvent tank, and check the bearings. There's some thrust bearings in here. The lead screw that gets, you know, gets grease and stuff, so doesn't look like this thing's been particularly well maintained. So we'll try and, you know, try and fix on that. It doesn't look like it suffered too much. Just a little dirty. It would have been nice if they would have, you know, cleaned it up. This is actually supposed to have not a hole in there. That's supposed to be a cover to keep schmutz out. You may or may not have one of those laying around. Alright, okay, well it's actually a cover, so I guess it kept the schmutz out. Okay, let's get some Allen wrenches over here. So these are called Anglock vises. It's the brand name, actually. Or I guess KURT is the brand name, but Anglock is the model. The reason it's called that is because it has like a little grabby thing with a spherical ball and a flat on it. So when you tighten it up, it pulls it down. So it locks on an angle. So anyway. So there it is. There's the little ball with the flat on it. Get that cleaned up. It doesn't look too bad. Throw this in the solvent tank and get her cleaned up. The other thing that needs to come off is this guy. This one's pretty loose. Sometimes they're really tight and you have to thread a bolt in there to, like a 5/16, 18 grub screw here. So you just put a bolt in there if this is really tight. This one popped off pretty easy, so you just use the old Allen wrench to okay, that's a little bit boogered up on the end there, but I can put that on a surface plate, polish it a wee bit. that's tight. Okay, well, that's tight. Try this guy. See if it's just as durable. Back in the frame so you can see what I'm doing. That one is tighter. So some people actually take these all apart and put them on a surface grinder and then grind, you know, put it flat on the table and then grind this height the same, so they're all, like every one of their vices is the exact same height or within, you know, a couple microns, 5 microns or something. I won't be doing that because first of all I don't have a surface grinder, and second of all, stuff I do is not that precision. No. It's pretty yucky and crusty, but we'll get this all cleaned up and it'll be like new-ish. Looks like there's been some crashes inside here, so it's kind of, I need to get a file out and kind of clean some of this schmutz out of here to make it removable. What did I do with my razor blade? Go. Out now. There we go. All right. Hello, McFly. All right, well, this one does not. crusty, dry, rubbery threads on here. But alright, so that's what the meat and potatoes looks like. It doesn't look too bad. We won't know much till we get this cleaned up, so I'm gonna head down. Head down to the shed and get this all, well, I'll probably pressure wash it. Well, I'll probably scoop it into the garbage can first, and then we'll pressure wash it, and then we'll get it in the solvent tank and get it all cleaned up. Pretty rusty and yucky. See what we got here for thrust bearing. Ooh, that looks great. Yeah, that bearing is shot. I don't know if it's focusing on that, but you can see it's all pitted and cracked, and it looks like a Belleville spring now. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a thrust bearing. That's actually not the bearing. I'll pop the bearing out here in a sec. Try to anyway. Okay, that's actually the bearing. You can see the little rollers in there, and then this is just a hardened washer, so it doesn't ride against the machine surface. So this looks completely knackered. So, like I said, I think I got a new one in the toolbox over there, because this is a thing that needs to get rebuilt often. Looks like there is no thrust bearing on the opposite side on this one. Maybe the bigger models have a thrust bearing on both sides. This one only has one. You mostly tighten it up in the same direction. So anyway, we'll get this cleaned up and we'll come back. Okay, so I got this all cleaned up. I didn't actually pressure wash it. I just put it in my solvent tank and kind of cleaned it up a bit. It's not too bad. And then I took my stone and I kind of stoned everything. This didn't really need any stoning, but like this piece here, you can see there's some dents and stuff in it. So I just kind of took all the high spots out of there. Somebody did some accidental machining here. Another piece that I noticed while I was taking it apart is you can see this thing got smashed. Somebody tried to close the vise farther than it went, so this piece here smashed into it. So like that. Anyway, it's all good. Won't hurt nothing. So now we can start putting this thing back together. I think I remember how to do it. It's been a while, but so I think I showed you earlier that these thrust bearings are all messed up. So I found this in my toolbox. You can read that, but it says 6 of 00. So these have been sitting in my toolbox for 26 years. And as you can see, they look much nicer. So I'll be throwing those in there. Those go like that-ish. Probably put some grease on them. Doesn't need a lot. But this thing doesn't normally get lubricated with anything except for, machine lubricant. Okay, looks appropriate. And then this guy can go on next. I don't think there's a particular way that needs to go, but we'll just get it on there a little bit. Tighten it up later. Alright. Get some more grease over here. This guy. We'll lube this up some more after it's assembled. Just dump some whey oil down there and put the little cap back on it. It's really hard to get grease into threads like this, but we'll smear some more in there. Work it in. So this is the piece here that got crashed into that. So this guy kind of goes like that. It's pretty much just a snap together model at this point. And then the magic of this thing is the angle lock. This is like a half a ball bearing. It just sits in here. And then there's a cast little divot in here. It just sits in there. And then when you close it, this pushes down and sucks everything. So it sits flat every time. And that just goes like that. And then there's a set screw here. That makes it so it can't fall out. And you don't need this super tight, it's just like a, if you make it super tight then it can't really articulate, so just make it like that. Really simple design, which is good. Simple is good. Nothing needs to be super precision except for the stuff that does, which is what you want. Overcomplicate things like engineers typically like to do. Same with this. You don't really need to have zero backlash on it. It's a little tight. And that's it. So this particular vise that I bought, used, came with jaws, which, they're a little bit beat up. I'll take the same strategy with this and kind of get the big spots out of there. But it didn't come with these short 1/2" 13 cap screws, so I'll have to pick some of those up. And I still have to put these in. And then, of course, the $1 baseball bat from the thrift store as your cheater bar. I don't know if these are supposed to get torque tube, but that seems about right. And there you have it. Rebuilt. So now I'm going to go get some whey oil and I'll dump it in there. I kind of prefer the real Mexican style whey oil. I mean, that's a personal preference. If you don't like Mexican whey oil, you can use American stuff, but that's what I prefer. Alright, this should be fun. And then, here, you remember this cap? I'm going to clean that up a bit. Use some WD-40 as my cleaner. Don't forget to subscribe.